It's pretty standard for K-pop groups to have some kind of lore or storyline that gets explored in each music video. EXO's storyline might be one of the best ones out there. The plot just keeps on getting better and better. There are also many fan theories regarding what their official lore or storyline actually is. No matter which interpretation you'll read, there's one thing that they all have in common. The EXO members are some kind of superheroes. Recently, a new theory about their concept went viral on Twitter. The user Gomcult posted a thread explaining that EXO could just be a group of kids in high school who are daydreaming about being superheroes. EXO's debut album XOXO is formatted as a yearbook full of their drawings and doodles, like pictures of wolves or superheroes. The music video for Love Me Right has tons of similarities to Alice in Wonderland as well. For example, the watch that Lay had drawn on his wrist could be synonymous to the White Rabbit. There's some similarities between Suho and Alice's sister as well, as they're often seen alone and detached from Wonderland. Xiumin and Chen are just like Tweedledee and Tweedledum. They're inseparable as a duo, and they're always seemingly lost in the woods. The most in-your-face resemblance between the music video and Alice in Wonderland is Chanyeol as the Cheshire Cat. The purple suit he's wearing is very similar to the one Cheshire Cat is wearing, and Chanyeol is also the most playful and mischievous character in the music video. Then there's Kai, who resembles the Queen of Hearts. With his red hair and playing croquet with a bat and bottle, he looks very similar to the cartoon character. Most importantly, Dio is the one that represents Alice. In the music video, Dio is walking through different doors, turning upside down just as Alice did when she entered Wonderland. Dio and Suho, who resembles Alice's sister, are the only ones shown in a red light in the music video, which could possibly mean that they're the only ones in reality. For Love Me Right, EXO also did a soccer-themed photo shoot, which could play a huge part in the theory that they're daydreaming of being superheroes. Looking through the concept pictures for the XOXO album, the members are seen reading old comic books, and some of them even had the Game Boy advertisements, which came out in 1989 on the back. In this picture in particular, Chen seems to be sleeping, and what if he's dreaming about being a superhero? EXO's fourth repackaged album, The War, The Power of Music, is fully made into a comic book where the members imagine themselves as superheroes. It's not often that we see groups having an actual comic book as part of the album's inclusions. Looking at the Power of Music teaser, Gomko points out that this doesn't have to be a parallel universe where they're ordinary kids. It could truly be their normal everyday life, and that they spend their days daydreaming about what it would be like to be superheroes. A lot of details in the video are straight up from the 90s, like the old box TV or the old Nerf toys on the wall. In the Power music video, they used Nerf toys that were actually very similar to those from the Power of Music teaser. Allegedly, some people joked around that the agency just didn't have the budget to get them some proper ones, but what if that's the whole point? What if they're just playing pretend? The music video is also full of the vaporwave style, which is very reminiscent of the 80s and 90s. Another thing about the Power music video is that the intro seems like you're flipping through different games to see which one you'd like to play. Then for Don't Fight the Feeling, they started off the era by posting a teaser with the concept of an 8-bit space shooter game, which was very popular in the 90s. For this era, EXO also released collectible photo cards that had the design of a game character. Parallel universes just seem to be a huge part of their storyline, and in that parallel universe, they're just a group of ordinary guys who play a video game about themselves as superheroes. Another fun thing to mention is that the first exoplanet was discovered and confirmed in 1992, adding even more to the theory. A lot of EXO's music has aspects from 80s and 90s music. While we're on the topic of music, EXO has around 53 songs that talk about dreaming. Considering this theory is about EXO dreaming about being superheroes, it makes a little more sense. EXO's concept is really full of twists and turns, and they love to engage their fans as well. When EXO released Tempo, they released a sort of game where fans had to solve puzzles every day as a part of the Tempo teasers. With these games, EXO escaped the red cube. There was also an animation of a racing circuit, and every time a correct code was entered, the bike moved further along the circuit. Since the EXO's universe is so rich and eventful, there's a lot more theories about what could be possibly happening. One user on Reddit put their own theory into chronological order. According to them, the alternative superhero universe EXO is in begins with the music video What Is Love? EXO members are aliens from the exoplanet, and when they're created, they learn about their powers and question not only who they are, but everything around them. They learn that their purpose is to stay protected from the Red Eye Force or Red Force. It isn't known why the Red Force is after them, but many fans have agreed that it's because the organization wants their superpowers for themselves. At one point, EXO also wore collars that lit up bright red, and it could symbolize them being under the control of the Red Force. To go along with them being under the control of something bigger, EXO also appeared with different numbers assigned to them that were very similar to what a lab lab experiment number looks like. EXO storyline might seem a little confusing and chaotic, but a lot of it might be tied together. For example, Love Me Right and Lucky One seem to directly follow one another. After Lucky One came out, some fans started to immediately notice some similarities between that music video and Love Me Right. The hallway color in Lucky One is the same color that's seen throughout Love Me Right, almost as if it's taken in the same place. Apart from the boys being superheroes, there was also a theory that the boys were stuck in a maze when the Overdose music video came out. Some fans thought that Love Me Right could be showing different parts of the music video. The biggest piece of evidence to support this theory is that when Lay was looking through a window in Love Me Right, you can kind of make out Lay's face peeking out in the Lucky One music video. Not to mention that the boys are still stuck in a maze in Lucky One. Love Me Right could possibly show off the time after they got out of the maze, which would mean that it's set in the past, and Lucky One is still set in the past despite the music video coming out after Love Me Right. The interpretation is all up to you. For the longest time, Mama was said to be the starting point of everything, even though some people thought it actually began with What Is Love, mainly because it included the opening that told the story of how each of the boys came to have their special abilities or superpowers and how they arrived on Earth. The theory seemed to change after Power came out and it showcased the different parallel universes there are and the one where EXO were. In the universe that Power is set in, the boys were defeating some kind of robot which many believe was created by the Red Force. Once they managed to defeat it, Power spheres fall down from the sky, and the theory is that's how the boys obtain their superpowers. The end of the Power music video also shows Baekhyun holding a kitten, which almost certainly comes from one of the different universes that were shown in the beginning. Baekhyun then decides to help the kitten go back home, and it shows him falling through what looks like the sky on Earth. The theory here is that the boys decided to follow Baekhyun, setting off everything that happens in their other music videos. Before Power was released, a lot of people thought that the correct sequence as the story happened was with Mama being first, then What Is Love, Overdose, Lucky One, Love Me Right, Monster, and Coco Bop. Mama first mentions the evil Red Force, and some fans believe that the two parts of EXO, EXO-K, and EXO-M are trying to meet up and defeat the Red Force through Mama and What Is Love. In What Is Love, the members find the symbols that belong to the other members. While these two music videos are full of clues that could lead the members to meet each other, they aren't able to do that by the time an eclipse happens, and that's why the Red Force created the maze in Overdose. Then, at the end of Overdose, the boys are seen leaving the maze, but as the camera pans out, it shows that the maze is actually bigger than we thought. Previously, we mentioned that some fans came up with the theory that Lucky One and Love Me Right show different parts of the maze, but other fans believe that Love Me Right is a collection of the dreams the members have while held captive in Lucky One. Then the timeline progresses to Monster, where the members are finally able to escape thanks to Baekhyun. Coco Bop then shows the boys finally being able to learn how to control their superpowers, and well, the rest is history. The EXO world is a crazy one, and honestly, their whole storyline could be made into a full movie. After hearing all this, share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye!